Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate it if you purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be talking about the Rolex Daytona reference number 116518LN. This one is on yellow gold, black ceramic bezel, matching black dial, index hour markers, and Oysterflex bracelet. I'll be going over all of these features: the case, the bezel, the dial, the crown functions, as well as the chronograph functions, the movement, and this Oysterflex strap. And I'll be giving you my thoughts on all of these throughout this video. Alright, so starting off with the case, we have a 40mm case. That's the Oyster style case that you see here. 40 millimeters from finger to thumb. That's the 2 to 8 o'clock position, or the 10 to 4 position, that equivalent diagonal either way. That gives you 40 millimeters, entirely in yellow gold, a monoblock case with the screw down case back and the Rolex winding crown to ensure waterproofness down to 100 meters or 330 feet. All of this again is yellow gold, a high polish along the front, as you can see along these lugs, both on the sides as well. On both sides as well, and on the case back. Also on the case back you have this sort of a brush finish on the case itself. The high polish is on the screw down case back with the hallmarks that you can see underneath each lug. So that's an important part of authentication, so that you know that you're dealing with precious metals, in this case yellow gold. On the front of this case here we have a ceramic bezel, what they call Cerachrom, and made in that sort of black look with the yellow gold inset sort of sandblasted in there into the bezel, sort of evocative of the original Daytonas from the mid-60s that were plexiglass and black inserts as well. But this one is fully ceramic, so you're going to have a hard time scratching it, you're going to have a hard time breaking it. So yeah, you can be relatively rough with this, although I wouldn't be rough with the case because it is yellow gold, much more malleable than the rest of the construction here. On the front we have a nice sort of glare-proof sapphire crystal. It's much more glare-proof than you would think. Harder to prove in this video because, well, it does reflect light. Well, just about every flat surface reflects light, and any surface that is smooth and not matte will reflect light very well like this. However, this does have a glare proofing on it that makes it very easy to see the dial. And speaking of which, we have this black dial, fully black with index hour markers, so that means you can actually turn out the lights and see the glowing in the dark feature, the chroma light display on there. There we go. Nice and focused with the hour and minute hands both illuminated as well, so you can read this in the dark should you need it. The index hour markers themselves are rather small, but they're sort of subdued to give space to the rest of the dial here. You have enough nice space here with the sub-dials, small seconds at the 6 o'clock, 30-minute and 12-hour chronograph dials at the 3 and 9 o'clock hour positions respectively. So the index hour markers do have to remain small in order to give space to the rest of the features of this watch, which are rather important. Alright, so starting off with the features, we have the Rolex winding crown at the 3 o'clock position. You have the triple lock waterproofness system, as you can see with the 3 little dots underneath the crown. You have the part of it right here is that rubber gasket. There's more inside, but basically you know that you have a very good waterproofness system. You can definitely go down to 100 meters or 330 feet below sea level with this. At this base position, you can just wind the watch. This is the manual wind portion of the functions. It does have an automatic winding, right? So about 20 to 30 full winds is all you need to get started to its full power reserve from a dead stop. Pull the crown out to the final position. It actually stops that seconds hand. As you can see, it's not moving, so you can then adjust the minute hand precisely to wherever you need to place it based on the position of that seconds hand. Wait for the time to roll around on an atomic clock, press the crown back in, and screw it back tightly against the case to ensure that superior water resistance thanks to that triple lock waterproofness system. You can also then note that these pushers for the chronograph do not actually actuate unless you actually unscrew them first. So this top one is the most useful because it's the one that starts and stops. The chronograph hand center mounted with that arrow tipped at the very end, which lightly grazes the peripheral of that dial so that you know you can keep track of the time units per hour, for example, as indicated on this bezel, or even just however many miles per hour you're going based on the position of that seconds hand. Also, if you note, as it swept past the midnight or the 12 o'clock position, the sub dial at the 3 o'clock did advance forward a little bit slowly, and then it ticked forward as soon as it reached past midnight. All right, if you need to see that again, just rewind the video a little bit. All right, so in order to stop it again, just press the top button once more. It's a nice quick and sudden stop, no stuttering, no weird jolty movements. It's just clean and a very nice click as well. Also, the actuation for the Daytona is I would say is second to none. It's a very nice click that just feels really good to actuate. And it's a very nice, clean feel as well. So you can use this as a chronograph anytime, all right? And when it's stopped and you need to reset it, you just simply press the bottom pusher only when it's stopped to reset both the chronograph hand center mounted and both of the chronograph dials at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, all right? The vertical clutch inside also allows you to basically keep it running as a large seconds hand if you want to, large center mounted seconds hand rather. You do still have the small seconds that will continue to run, all right? So what makes all of this work is the 4130 movement caliber made in-house by Rolex. You can't see through the case back again because you do have the solid case back, but what you do have is the plus or minus 2 second per day time differential, giving it that superlative chronometer certification as printed on every Rolex dial, as you can see at the 12 o'clock position on this dial. All right, it has the center hour, minute, and seconds hands with the small seconds at the 6 o'clock, chronograph center hand accurate within an eighth of a second, a 30-minute counter at the 3 o'clock, 12-hour counter at the 9 o'clock, and it also has the stop seconds for precise time setting, all of which I had just demonstrated. The oscillator is a paramagnetic blue Cerachrom hairspring, and it also has a bidirectional winding rotor on the inside, so that once you wind it to its full capacity using the winding crown, just simply wearing it on your wrist, with the natural wrist movements that you have during the day, will keep it wound to the approximate 72-hour power reserve. That's basically 3 whole days, literally 3 whole days. So you can set this down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on Monday morning, and you'll be ready to conduct business. No need to wind the watch at all. All right, now taking a look at the framing here, we have something that's relatively new in terms of the Daytona line, the overall age of the Daytona. Originally, the Daytona was offered on a leather strap. This one, the newer generations in more recent years have been offered on an Oysterflex strap, and I actually do very much like the Oysterflex because not only is it a rubber construction, but on the inside there's a metal plate to actually help keep the form and like the overall function of this nice and tight, nice and easy, and it won't bend or break anywhere near as easily. All right, you also have these nice channels underneath the Oysterflex strap to help vent the wrist and allow you to also adjust it on your wrist should you require it. A little bit harder to see. Let me see if I can get a good lighting on there. Okay, there you go. Now you can see the little channels. They're also very nice and cushiony, so it feels very nice on the wrist. All right, then there's also a nice taper down to the Oyster folding clasp. This is the safety clasp, so in order to open it from the bottom of the crown to flip open the safety, and then the top of the clasp to open it. All right, fully on the inside, you have the yellow gold construction there with the Rolex stamped seal, and you know that you're dealing with gold because you do have these additional hallmarks that mirror that of the inside, or rather the back of the watch case. All right. I'm not going to loop it for you now, but you can take a look at it with a loop when you have one of these in your hands. Okay, now underneath this Oyster folding or safety clasp, you have the EasyLink 5mm extension. Thankfully, you have this on the Oysterflex strap, so chances are you're going to get a strap that fits nicely to your wrist. If you need extra space, you can just reach under here and pull it out. It opens up very easily, much easier than on the Oyster bracelet. All right, so again, if you pounded like 3 liters of water, you walk outside and it's 100 degrees outside, you can just simply reach under here, unfold it, and there you go. Another half link of an Oyster bracelet, a full Jubilee link, or in other words, 5mm. Just enough to give you an extra set of comfort, just so that you can continue wearing your watch if your wrist happens to swell during the day. All right, and while I'm here, I can actually try it on, give you my thoughts as to how it wears on the wrist. Now keep in mind, these Oysterflex straps are D and F size. D, this smaller one, and F for the larger one. All right, and on my 7-inch wrist, it fits very nicely. All right, 18 centimeters in circumference as well if you're going metric. All right, and taking a look at it face on, there's plenty of bracelet actually, even though this is a 40mm case size, the lug-to-lug distance even larger. The Oysterflex does sort of stand out because it is black. It fits in very nicely with that bezel and the dial. It gives it a very nice cohesive look, with the gold actually being, even though it is the main part of this watch, the case, it acts more as an accent to the overall color scheme here. Not very much like that. Having a predominantly black with gold accents just makes it feel much more special, just that much better, that much more elegant, and that much more sort of uniform in its design. Looking at it down the wrist here, there's plenty of space underneath this Oysterflex bracelet, even though it is nice and snug on my wrist. The channels underneath, again, that I showed earlier, do give you sort of that extra venting, that extra breathing that allows you to wear this for extended periods of time, so that you can certainly wear this to any sporting event, or, you know, even in the water should you decide to go there. And with that triple lock waterproofness system, you can certainly take this swimming anywhere, just about anywhere. Just don't go deep sea diving with this, you'll be just fine. All right, and with the overall weight here, if it's nice and snug on your wrist, it feels very nice. It's not overly heavy as you would think from a solid gold construction. The ceramic bezel on there does help keep the weight down a bit. There's plenty of space let me rephrase that. There's a very good overall form factor to this watch, such that you can slide a suit cuff over it nice and easily. Under 12 millimeters, certainly under 12 centimeters in thickness there. All right, so it will fit very nicely under any suit cuff, certainly a jacket sleeve as well. The counterweight of the gold clasp does help a bit, although you do get a bit more weight on the top here with the case, because, well, you do have more gold content there than you would have in the clasp. It just makes sense. All right, so overall, a very comfortable wear, especially with this Oysterflex strap here with the channels underneath. Gives it a very, very clean feel, and I can feel the venting of the air underneath it. It just feels very nice and very soft and cushiony as well. So enough of what I think. What do you guys think about this watch? Let us know down in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video like this one. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit our store online at jazztime.com. Links in the description below, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.